Hello guys, Jeff McKay here from neurogrowth.ca, and we're here today to talk about the top 3 things that I've learned in our first 3 months here. Now we've been here just a little longer than 3 months, actually it might even be more. I can't believe that it's already October. We're in a full fall time mode here. The leaves are all falling off and changing colors. But it is my favorite time of year. The smells, just everything about it is, I don't know what it is, but I love the fall time. Definitely one of my favorite seasons. Now, the first thing I've learned is pretty simple, but it's to keep a list. Everyone should have a list. You should have at least 5 to 10 things that you're working on. They can be internal, you're working on yourself. Goals for yourself. A lot of them can be external. So right now on my list I've got this fence job that I'm working on right behind me here, part of the winter chicken coop area, and a few other things I'm working on. We're installing some wood stoves, some other cool things like that. And I found, over these last few months doing these big chores, that if I don't write them down, I feel like I have to remember everything. I feel like I have to hold it all in my brain. And by just writing it down, I feel like I can kind of have a nice sigh, like and okay. And it takes it out of the mind. It's hard to explain, but super important. My partner told me that one, and I kind of balked at it. I'm like, I don't need a list. I can remember it all, but that's not really the point. The point is, once you write it down, the brain can kind of let go of it. And also too, when you make those lists, you might see your priorities aren't in the correct order. For us, I was just editing my list, crossing some things off and adding, and it just hit me hard, like, oh my gosh, it's October. I need to shuffle this around and get the more important things done first, things that I can't get done. In just another month, there'll be snow on the ground here, and it won't be going anywhere. So anything that needs to be done outside, stuff like that, should really be getting done right now. So we're getting some wood stoves installed. I've been cutting wood. I'll actually be hauling wood in the bush here today, right after this video, get some more fence work done. The other thing I've learned, so the first one, make a list, write it down, keep it updated, keep checking it, crossing things off. Sometimes when I do my daily list too, if I already did a bunch of stuff, I'll write it down just to cross it off. Feels good, gives you a little dopamine release. It's a nice little kind of brain hack. But the next big one is when you're working on a project or something you've never done before, reach out for advice. Go find somebody who's already doing it and doing it better than you, who's already went through all the problems, and see what they can tell you. A good example here, oh, here comes the kitty. A good example of that one is I just moved to this place here, and we figured for sure we needed a water softener. We're on well water. Everything we read said, well water's usually really hard, and you need a softener. Well, we had the softest water imaginable, and I even had the water tested, but to interpret that test, you need to know what you're doing. So I went ahead and we got a water softener, and they're not cheap. And then we had lots of problems. The water was tasting terrible, and it was this big kerfuffle. Now luckily the company, they took it all back, and it all ended up being fine. We got the correct filter for our needs. But had I just spoken to my neighbor, a local expert, someone who's been here for 15 years, because I started telling him the story, and he just chuckled. He said, we have the softest water, soft as a baby's bottom, were his words. And I went back and looked at the well report, and I kind of, it was so obvious, but it's funny when you get your mind made up on things and you don't seek other people's advice, you can often get yourself into a lot of trouble. Now, we were very lucky that they took it all back. No, we weren't out of pocket, but you know, that would have been like a couple grand that we would have been out of pocket. So definitely find an expert, find a local, someone local. It really depends on what you're talking about, but find someone who knows what they're talking about and leverage their time and experience. You know, since learning that little water softener, or going through that water softener debacle, I've since consulted the neighbor on many things, and he has been extremely helpful. So thank you, Peter. I doubt you'll ever be watching this video, but you know, thank you nonetheless. Now, the number one thing I've learned, and it's the reason we're standing over here by my fence. I don't think you can't see it too well. Here, let me give you a little shot. So that's just a simple little chain link fence, not a thick fence, just for chickens. And you can see there I've got the concrete in the holes there. Got them nice and concreted in. And so when I first was making this fence, I didn't use concrete. I said, seems like a waste of money. Don't really need it. I can kind of mix water with the dirt and tamp it down. Okay, video got cut off there, not too sure exactly where. But anyways, so I tamped these posts down like with a big big wooden rod, and I got them feeling great and all was well, you know, starting to feel like, geez, like why do people even use concrete? Might be a big scam. And then after about 2 weeks, you know, I went back to the first post I did, and it was loose. Like, geez, it took me like 2 seconds to just rip the whole thing right out of the ground. So whatever I did after the ground dried up, you know, it wasn't cutting it anymore. And then I had to redo all 23 of these posts. So now this project is way behind, and I've exerted double the effort, if not more. So the rule of, you know, the advice here is do things the right way, because it sure as hell is better than doing it twice. And in the end is a lot faster and just straight up easier because you didn't have to do it twice. So now, you know, I'm almost done the fence here. I'm just stringing it up. I'm happy with some of it, not too happy with other parts. But it is kind of a low budget operation. And I keep reminding myself that it's just to keep chickens in. I don't need to put cattle in here. And I am pretty excited to get it done, get the chickens out of their coop, get them settled in for their winter home here, and see how it goes. So those are the top 3 things I've learned. Do things right. It's easier than doing it twice. Make a list, keep your thoughts organized and prioritized, and reach out for advice. Find someone who's already done it better than you, is an expert, and leverage their time. Most people are willing to offer some help and some advice, so definitely take advantage of that. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you liked the intro video at the start. I'll keep playing around with that. Now we got some fun stuff here. Definitely check us out at neurogrowth.ca. We have the #1 legal alternative to microdosing magic mushrooms, and that is our reishi spores. These things are amazing at busting stress. They are expensive, but you get what you pay for. And what I do with the reishi spores, due to the price point, is I don't take them every day. Now, I love reishi and I take reishi every day, but these are extremely potent. So they're on days when I'm stressed, I'm just feeling overwhelmed, not just willy-nilly, like there's something going on. You know, we had our cat get stuck up in a tree this year, and I'll save that story for another time, but what a debacle. And I just took one. The cat had to sleep in the tree at night, so I'm having trouble sleeping. I'm worried about the cat. So I just take one. 20 minutes later, I'm still feeling overwhelmed. Take another one. Boom, 20 minutes later, I go to take a third one, and I'm good. Don't need to take the third one. I'm breathing. I notice I'm calm. I've never had anything else do that without, you know, like smoking a joint, and now you're stoned. So yeah, you're less stressed, but it comes with all this other stuff, which sometimes is awesome. Other times maybe you got work to do. You don't want that. So like I said, these reishi spores are the number one alternative to a true magic mushroom microdose. So they're awesome, and we're giving 15% off right now. Just go to neurogrowth.ca. You'll see the shop link, and you just use fall15. Again, that's link FALL15. We'll have it down below for 15% off. And if you are looking for a daily reishi product, something you can take every day, you know, our good friend Derek Fleming from New Earth Organics, he's a part of the Neurogrowth team. He's a great guy, great products, some of the best. I use New Earth Organic stuff every single day, and he has a promo code for us, NG10, for 10% off site-wide, and they have a phenomenal reishi mushroom powder. Add it to the coffees, add it to your elixirs, anything with chocolate masks the reishi taste completely. It actually kind of goes very well together. So again, we got fall 15 for the reishi spores at neurogrowth.ca, and then we've got NG10 for all of the New Earth Organic stuff store-wide. Thank you so much, Derek, for doing that for us. And that's about it, guys. So remember, make your lists, do things right the first time if you can, and reach out for advice. Find an expert in your field. So thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.